I'm gonna give her a go.
All right.
Now, can we log on to Facebook and do this?
Yeah, you'll be able to see us. See yourself. We are live. JTH Construction Studio, where tonight we will be doing a Zoom call. And I'll let Rob introduce the guest. But first, let me real quick get to the sponsor of the show, American Basement Solutions, Fathom Real Estate. Teresa Mesmer always helps out on the show. Reps Fitness. Rob, you go to Reps?
No.
I drive
I
past it.
should. I mean, I go to the high school. It's free.
Right, there you go. Drink of the Creek coming up May 7th, opening day. Cannot wait for that. Bland and Boys Lawn Care. Looking forward to that. And I want to make sure that they're even watching us. Yeah, we got people on. I just don't see any conversation yet. Wayman's Furniture, Appliance and Mattress, 765-342-4339. Stop out there and tell Mark we said hey. Findhelp.org. Wellsprings, Stid's Comfort System. It's nice in here tonight, Rob. You're missing it.
Is it nice and warm in there?
It is. It's a comfortable 70 degrees. And Peggy Mayfield, of course, state representative for District 60. Glad to have her on board. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
You're not wanting me to do it?
Oh, do whatever you do, man. I don't have anything. Can you hear me, Ryan?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What happened to Kevin?
I don't know. I got a message on my screen that said I'm the host now. So I want to welcome everybody to the program.
Thank you.
I'm Ryan Christopher with Resurrection at Journey Tribute, www.notjourney.com. And I'm here with my interviewer, Mr. Rob Helms. And
How we doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's great to hear from you. This is our first ever Zoom interview, Ryan.
Oh, wow. And I get to be a part of the first one?
You're the first one. You are the, I'm going to try to be nice and politically correct, but you're our guinea pig, I guess.
Virgin?
Yes, you're the virgin. That's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
That's okay. It's still a child-friendly program. As I tell my wife all the time, I'll do my best not to mess up the first time, okay? So.
And to be honest with you, the reason we're doing this tonight like this is because you're in North Carolina.
South Carolina, yes.
South Carolina.
That's
right. We didn't want to, I wanted to try this because we got a lot of entertainment, a lot of acts that we deal with.
Okay.
And I really wanted to get you on somehow because Ryan, what you don't understand, and maybe you do, is that you are your act, your band is absolutely one of the best and biggest bands that we have around here. And I bring in national acts.
Thank you,
and you guys have really become that way here to us. And you guys are just phenomenal. And I knew we weren't going to be able to get you in. I mean, because you guys are traveling all over the country. So I said, well, let's try something, let's see what happens.
I'm glad you invited me. And it's always great to be able to, answer people's questions. And of course, there's a lot of fans out there. There's also a lot of skeptics that haven't seen the band before, and they might catch this video. So we appreciate you giving us some airtime.
Rob, invite me back. It booted me, it says.
Okay. Let me see if I can switch you over to the host. Let me see here. Hold on. More, and there you go. Okay, I'm going to make you the host, Rob, so you can re-invite him.
Well, they said they did. I'm getting all these emails or texts. I mean, and I don't know here. Crazy.
Poor Kevin. And it's still streaming to Facebook, so it still should be going to his channel.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Ryan, on a different note here, I know, and we're going to talk about some of your bookings you guys got coming up, and then we've got you guys coming to Cedar Creek Winery here in Martinsville, Indiana on May 14th. And you've been doing that now. I think you guys have been coming, for 4 or 5 years out there now?
I was going to say at least 4. I think this is our 5th year, and thanks to you guys and the people over Creek, it's been great because even when we were having trouble during the pandemic, we were able to make things work and make things happen. So it was really, really exciting to be a part of it. But we can't wait to return, man. That's one of our favorites throughout the year. We look forward to it.
Well, and the crowd has gotten bigger every time. We've had a bigger crowd every single time. And to be honest with you, the folks at Cedar Creek that own them, the Elsner family, they just love you. Well, we all do, but they just love having you guys out there every time. And so RD Productions, my company, we make it happen. And I love dealing with your manager. Now you got a close tie with your manager, so you got to be nice to your manager.
That's right. My manager is Pam. Pam is my wife as well. So yeah, for everybody out there in Rock and Roll USA, yeah, when your manager is your wife, it's a lot easier to just follow orders. You don't buck the system. You get
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you, she does a great job. She's very professional to deal with. I deal with a lot of agents, a lot of managers. Your wife does a great job. So she does. She really truly does.
She is the best, and a lot of people don't know what she does. She doesn't just do booking and marketing. She does promotions. She does merchandising. She does all of our social media, all of our website, interaction. She's truly a marketing genius when it comes to advertising the band. And as far as me and my business partner, Vic, he also plays keyboards with the band. The two of us own the project, but she definitely does the lion's share of the work. She's amazing.
Oh, yeah. That's the part I want to go to next. Ryan, I've like I said, when I book bands, I've had a couple throughout the years. I've got their demo tapes or their videos or whatever, to judge it. Because I'm not traveling all over the country to hear different acts. And when I got you guys' demo to look at, I was like, holy crap, this can't be real. I'm being honest. I was like, these guys can't be this good. But you guys are that good. You are without a doubt probably one of the premier tribute bands in the world.
Wow.
I would have to have somebody I would have to see something different. And I can't tell you how many tribute bands and all that I have booked throughout the last 5 years, but I don't know who is any better. I have not had anybody any better.
Wow. That's huge. That's a huge compliment. I don't.
And we've had great ones like Thunderstruck and Bear, just great bands, but there's no one better. No one better.
Wow. I hear this all the time, Rob, and I'm just telling you, it's difficult for me. I'm a lead singer.
I know.
I'm a lead singer, but it's hard for me to take compliments. But I can tell you this much: where I have a hard time doting on myself. I do play with the best musicians on the face of the planet.
They're killer. Your guitar, Steve Sharon, however you, and Vic, killer. One thing I got to tell you a funny story. I might even told you this before. Pam invited me to come to, it was right before the pandemic, to Terre Haute, Indiana, over at the Shrine Club. Do you remember that night? And you had Dave Fleppard with you.
That's right.
And I was there. I took my wife and 2 friends of ours to the Shrine Club over there to watch you guys. But I was over there. I'd already seen you guys several times. But I was over there to see Dave Fleppard because I was going to book him.
Yep.
So I went over to see him. And I'll never forget, there was a guy behind me and my wife and them, sitting right behind me. And he was griping. It's like, well, why did you come here, dude? You knew it was two tribute bands. You wasn't getting Def Leppard and Journey. You were getting a tribute to them. I didn't say nothing, but this guy could hear him. He was griping, sitting right behind me.
Yep.
So I looked at him. I said, Bob, when this next band goes on, which would be you guys, I said, I promise you can close your eyes and you'll think you're at a Journey concert. He just looked at me like I was stupid. It's like, okay. Honest to God, you guys kicked the first song off and he tapped me on my shoulder. He goes, oh my gosh, you're right. The first song. It was like, I told you, these guys are that good. So I know you. I know the talent in the band, Ryan, and your vocal, and how much work you guys put in it. But in 2005, what most people don't know is you were doing a little karaoke,
That's true.
and you were karaokeing "Don't Stop Believing," correct?
That is true. That's the story. Yep.
Now, was it Vic, the piano player, that heard you, or who was it that heard you singing? How did that work out?
No, believe it or not, there's actually let me count this up in my head. There's 9 years between that karaoke competition and when Vic and I formed Resurrection. So just to kind of fill in some of the gaps, in 2005, you're right. I won a karaoke competition. I was not part of the band at the time. I actually went in there and they had a karaoke competition for like $1,000. And I had some friends of mine ask me to enter, and they asked me to do Don't Stop Believing, and I was nervous because I had never performed the song in front of an audience before, just sang it on the radio, sang what would in my car. I won the competition that night. I won the prize money, which is always a good thing. And then after that, I was approached by a man named Earl Arnold. Now, Earl was friends with my wife at the time, with her mom. They went to school together. So Earl pulls me aside and says, "Hey man, can I do you any favors? I got a studio at home. Can I put together a demo for you or something? Just do something for you. I think it's incredible talent." And so I went to his house. We recorded a 5-song demo, which included 3 Journey songs, "Oh Sherry" by Steve Perry and "Curie" by Mr. Mister. So I took this thing and started shopping it around Nashville. And of course, it's country and gospel USA. There was nobody biting. But a friend of his was a guitar player. His name was Mark Hawkins. He's up in Clarksville. He owns a company called War Babies Productions, which is like a staging and lighting company.
Uh-huh.
He pulls me into his warehouse with 3 other guys, and we start jamming out Journey tunes. And they're like, "Hey man, you want to form a tribute?" And at the time I was like, "I don't even know what a tribute is." "You're gonna have to explain this to me." "Well, you dress the part and you play the part, you sing the songs of the band." And I'm young. I'm born in 75. So I missed the early Steve Perry years because I was too young to really get it. And I knew Journey's music, "Faithfully," "Don't Stop Believing," "Separate Ways," some of the greatest hits. But my response to them was, "Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Like 7 songs?" Because I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So these guys challenged me and they said, "Listen, go home and listen to every possible record you can." And I did. I went out and bought I think it was 13 or 14 albums at the time. So I bought everything, even the Algeri stuff, and I listened down. And I came back the next week with a list of 54 songs that I wanted to perform.
Wow.
I was so addicted to Perry's voice, his mannerism. He was such a challenge for me vocally. I said, there's never going to be another singer, besides the ones that I've attempted and can't do. Freddie Mercury, can't sound like him. Robert Plant, I have no idea how that guy sings inside of a beat. I just don't get it. Tyler, I cannot scream like that dude. But somebody said, "Hey, you sound like Perry." And I said, this guy is the one that I need to really challenge myself to be like. So anyway, fast forward, that band was together for 7 years. We went through a couple of different musicians. And at the very end of it, I was working a full-time job trying to manage that band, and I failed miserably. So I ended up closing shop. I had about 4 more shows to fulfill. And at the time, I had several of the band members that had left the band. And I was hurting. I was like, how do I fulfill these contracts and at least don't go out with a sour name, right?
Sure.
And that's when that fateful call to Vic happened. And I called Vic and I said, "I need some musicians." And he was like, "Hold the phone. You know how big of a Journey fan I am? How about I play keyboards for you and I'll find some musicians. And I know you're burnt out on this thing. Why don't you just give it to me for about a year and a half and see what happens?" And I was just frustrated and tired. And I just said, "You know what? Show me. If you can show me that you can make this a success and make that dream that I had come true, then I'm all in." And it was incredible. The first year we were on Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. The second year we were in the Chicago White Sox Stadium, US Cellular Field. 40,000 fans. We're out on second base playing. And the roar of the crowd. It was the most exciting experience of my life. And then it finally capped in 2018 when my wife came to me and said, "We have enough gigs on the schedule that you could do this full time and put away your 25-year IT career and do this for real. Are you ready to wear the wig?" And I said, yes, ma'am. So that's the story. So there was actually a lot of time between when I started doing Journey tributes and when I met Vic. And this year makes 16 years singing in Journey tributes.
So right now, like what most people don't understand is you guys, they see you here. I mean, they see you when you come here. The folks that are coming to Martinsville, Indiana to watch you, but they don't understand that you guys play all over the country.
Yes.
And you've done cruise lines, you've done stadiums, and then you go to Cedar Creek. You do this for a living. This is how you pay your light bill and your phone bill.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yes.
there's one big event that you didn't bring up that I know you did. And you sang with an orchestra, right? Didn't you do an orchestra thing with a Journey? Didn't you do something in that?
Oh, no. You might be talking. Are you talking about Black Jacket Symphony?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a funny thing. And when you said orchestra, immediately a light bulb went off. So they don't really have a symphony. They don't have an actual orchestra. Black Jacket Symphony is a company that they do a bunch of different tributes. Okay, so I actually got a phone call from their manager because they had a Journey tribute that they do. They do this show like at certain theaters, and it doesn't really compete with what we do because they don't dress the part and they don't go really, really deep into the catalog. But what they do is they pick one album, usually the Escape album, and they play it cover to cover, and then they'll play a couple of other songs on their second set. So I had an invitation from them. I've had twice so far. I had an invitation to fill in for them and sing, and it really was an honor. That was probably one of the scariest gigs that I've been part of because I didn't dress the part, so I didn't wear the wig, and it was just Ryan out there on his own. And so those ones were a little scarier. But yeah, Black Jacket Symphony, great band. They do tributes to Queen, and they do tributes to Led Zeppelin, and tributes to, there's all kinds of stuff that they do.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a big fan, and I think it's incredible. Okay, so you got Vic and you got Steve. Steve is a guitar player.
Yep.
Vic is your piano player. Obviously, you're the lead singer. Who is the bass player now?
So we've had a couple of great bass players, and I want to make sure I mention their names. Our very first bass player was the late, great George Hawkins Jr. He played with Fleetwood Mac. He played with Loggins and Messina. He co-wrote an entire album with Steve Perry. I mean, this guy was legitimate. He was one of the most incredible musicians that I've ever known in my life. And he unfortunately passed away from cancer several years ago. But he was our primary bassist. And then after that, we had a couple of other guys cycle through. We've had about 8 or 9. Ronnie Kimball from Vinyl Radio, another great band out of Nashville. We've had John Billings of the Monkees fame. We've had so many guys in Nashville help us. But the one that was with us for about 5 years was Ben King. Ben King is based out of Nashville. He plays all over the place too. You can find him down on the strip on Broadway in Nashville. He plays at the Stage. He's over there at pretty much anywhere on the strip, you're going to see him. But then the guy that's playing with us now is a hometown boy. So Vic is from Orangeburg, South Carolina. This bass player is also from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
There you go.
A friend, and his name is Trenton Schuler, and his nickname is Pop Tart. So we've had him for my goodness, it's been a while now. 8 months, 9 months. It's coming up on a year. But he's done an incredible job. He started out as the merch guy / production assistant, and he was working all these odd jobs for us, and he was a heck of a worker. We really loved having him. And then one fateful day, we were doing a show, and Vic remembers this better than I do, but I can't even remember the venue. But I do remember that we were on the East Coast. Our bass player was flying in from Nashville. He was a sub, and he was flying in from Nashville. Well, he flew into Texas, which was his layover, and it snowed so much in Texas. Believe me, this is a true story, that he ended up getting snowed in. So he called
Texas
at 10 o'clock at night and says, I can't get out. And there's no way I'm going to be able to make the gig. They got no flights tomorrow either. So Trenton had to grab a guitar from Steve and practice the bass lines on a guitar all night. Then they get up and they go to Guitar Center and buy a bass. And Trenton shows up at the gig and he ends up playing the whole thing. And it was fantastic. And we were like, I think we just found our guy. We found our sub at the time because Ben was still playing with us. Well, Ben, he had some other offers. He had some bigger things coming up on top. And he said, you know what, I'm gonna take off. Thank you guys. And we love Ben dearly. He's still a great friend of mine. But we were baseless and we said, what do we do? And we looked at Trent and we said, obviously, this kid can do it. So Aaron, he struggled a little bit. You know, it's a lot to learn, and Journey's material is not easy.
No.
But out of his skin, he's excited.
So then you're working with different drummers. And I heard what we were talking off air before that, and you got some killer guys
Yes.
that are playing in that. I mean, they're
that's
trying
true.
to do your drumming. So
yeah, we've got a couple of different guys. So who's been filling in for us recently is a guy named Daniel Rangel. And Daniel's a great guy. Now, Daniel's one of those guys that he's been there, done that. He did 15 years touring on the road on tour buses. And he told us, he was straight up front and honest and said, I love what you guys do. And I like being able to play with you guys, but I'm not your full-time guy, you know? So we had some auditions recently, and I can't let the cat out of the bag yet, but pretty soon we'll be announcing our new drummer. So it'll be pretty exciting.
my camera froze there, but can you hear me now, Kevin?
I can hear you.
Yep, I can hear you. Welcome back, Kevin. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. What's
All
up?
right, so
I got questions.
Huh?
I have questions when I get a minute.
Okay.
You get after this one. April 16th, you're going to be at one of my favorite clubs in Nashville, 3rd and Lindsley. You guys pack them in down there, don't you?
Absolutely. So the club holds 500 and it sells out every time. In fact, I think we're at 450 or 460 tickets right now.
Is it 2 shows or 1?
So that's a trick question. The reason it's a trick question is because when we do shows like at Drink at the Creek or at theaters across the country, especially when we have 2 or 3 shows in a weekend, I can't sustain anything more than 90 minutes. So we do a show everywhere we go. But at 3rd Lindsley, that's our hometown venue. We usually don't have anything else wrapped around it. We don't this weekend. We do 2.5 hours. So this is that opportunity for the really serious Journey fan who may have seen the band, maybe hasn't seen the band yet, but they want the full experience. Yeah, we'll be at 3rd and Lindsley this coming weekend. It's going to be fun.
That's awesome. Kevin, go ahead, bud. And I got a couple more things for Ryan before we get.
I got a few quick here that I'll fire them all out at once. Favorite venue, largest crowd you played in front of, and if you've played overseas, I'm curious how the reception was there. I was overseas for a while in the military, and every festival had a band. They all played American rock, and I'm curious how the reception was over there for you, if you got to do that.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service. I'm also a veteran. I did some time in the Air Force.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service.
Yes, and so I can answer a couple of those. First of all, favorite venue. That's a tough one. To be honest with you, and I'm not just blowing smoke, any venue where the audience is active. If they're into the show and they're energetic and they're singing along and they're getting out of their seats, that's my favorite venue. But second to that would be anywhere where there's good food.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Like at Drink at the Creek, if there's good hospitality, we're all about it. So the band is definitely, we're there for the party, as Shania Twain said. But anyway, let's see here. Biggest crowd, I think I just touched on it with Rob, but the 40,000 in US Cellular Field, that was in 2015. That was the biggest. Second to that would probably be Branson. We played Branson Landing several years and capped out at, I believe, 22,000 at that event.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Now, overseas, we haven't been yet. I don't count the Caribbean. We've done Royal Caribbean cruises and we've performed on the actual ships.
Sure.
Haven't performed actually, outside the country. We did get a couple of invitations from some of our agents for USO type tours, but nothing has solidified yet because those invitations came in at about the same time the pandemic hit.
Right.
Kind of shut everything down. But I'm looking forward to it for sure, because I would love to be able to get overseas to be able to perform at some of those USO venues.
Right on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Ryan, here's some of the questions. And usually we have people playing music and stuff, you know, and doing the questions and all that. But, you know, you said 2005, you were singing Don't Stop Believing. But, I mean, when did you know you could sing like this?
That's a great question.
I mean, let's get real. I mean, was you in?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, you know, a lot of people ask me that when we're at the autograph table and we're signing autographs and we're talking to our, you know, when did you find out that you sound like Steve Perry? And I tell them all the time, it's not something you know, because you know how when you hear yourself for recording and you hear it play back, most people will say, "Oh man, I hate my voice. Boy, I sound silly." Or, "Wow, is that how I sound when I'm recording?" So everybody that hears me singing is not hearing what I'm hearing in my head. So I never thought that I sounded like Steve Perry when this thing began. And then over time, as I worked on some of the mannerisms, as I listened down to the music and I paid attention to how he delivered his phrasing, how he delivered his notes, it made it a little bit more present. You know, it made it like, okay, I do kind of sound like him. But I really leave it up to the fans, and especially the professional musicians. If I meet somebody, you know, at a Third and Lindsley show, I've met all kinds of people. They come out of the woodwork, and you never know when you're going to run into a celebrity there. But we've heard great results from Neil Sean himself. We've heard from Steve Perry, you know, through our drummer Jim Hanley when he was working with the band. There's so many people that have told us that they hear that I sound like Perry, that the band sounds like Journey. And that's probably the highest praise. That's the greatest honor.
Now, okay, so, you know, you guys are trying to make a living doing this, but why Journey, and why is it Journey? Tell the people out there. I've heard your story, but tell the people that don't know what is it about Journey that makes it click for you? Is it just because you sing like him, or is it just because you love the music? All the above? What is it?
Yeah, I would probably say all the above, but I don't think that this answer just involves me. I think it involves me and the rest of the band, and more so me and Vic. So as business partners, Vic is one of the biggest Journey fans, if not Journey nuts on the planet. He is serious. He owns all the vinyl. He has two bands that he loves with all his heart, and it's Toto and Journey. And
Oh, yeah.
Reason, you know, because if I dress like Ronnie, or if I were to dress like Robbie Kimball, he would be doing a Toto tribute right now, because that's how crazy he is about that band. But he loves Journey so much that even when he was watching Journey, he saw Steve Perry with Journey a couple of times. I believe one was the 81 tour and 83. He said he wanted to get up there and play so bad. He's watching Jonathan Cain and like, hey, if you fall out, I'm going to get up there. You know, he dreamed about this for a long time. And it's such a funny thing, because I think it kind of fulfilled a childhood dream for him when we met. And when this thing happened, because he said, and he'll say this on stage, he's very, very sweet. He'll say, "You know what, Ryan, you're the closest thing to Perry. You're the closest thing to being with Perry on stage that I'm ever going to get." You know, those things really, they hit me in my heart, man. It really feels good to know that I'm fulfilling a dream for him too. But yes, to answer your question, Journey's music is timeless. It's some of the best classic rock ever recorded, written, performed, period. But we're doing Journey because I can sound like Steve Perry. If I couldn't sound like Steve Perry, we wouldn't be here. I don't think that any tribute on the planet, regardless of who you're covering, you don't sound like the original band, you're not a tribute, you're a cover band. And it's okay to cover those songs and put them out there. It's great. But if you're going to put that tribute marker on your actual name, on your website, do it right. Do the whole experience so that people, when they open or close their eyes, they see the experience. They feel like they're back in those times, 1980, 1983. But that's what we do. I sound like Perry, and Journey's music.
You guys certainly nail that. That phenomenal.
Thank you, sir.
I'm freezing. My Zoom thing keeps freezing. Okay, Ryan, here's the big question of the day.
Okay, drum roll.
All right. So you're sitting at home and you get a phone call.
Yes.
You get a phone call from the manager of Journey,
Yeah.
and Arnell can't do the show, and obviously Steve Perry doesn't do it anymore. Could you do it?
I could do it. I could do
Yes.
the show.
100%.
Yeah, I could do the show right now. I guarantee you, if that call were to come, I may react like Arnell did. I don't know if you know the story.
But I know he was, yeah, go ahead.
When Neil Sean called Arnell hung up on him several times because he didn't believe he was calling. So I have a feeling I would either have that reaction, silence, or I would faint and have to be revived. And then the answer would be unequivocally yes. I would love to be able to perform with Journey. Now, this has been a question that some fans have asked me. Well, what if Journey wants to have you as their replacement? What if Arnell gets to the point where he can't do it? And, would you? The answer used to be no. I used to say, I don't want this tribute to stop. I don't want our fans to not have what we deliver with this project because we put so much time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears in it. But after some conversations with Vic, we both agreed we can do one of two things. We can put it on hold. We can put a substitute in my place until I get out. But either way, he said, you should never miss that opportunity. And it's hard for your business partner and for somebody that, we fulfilled our lifelong dreams to be in something that was this big. I just wanted to be a lead singer when I was young. And I gave up that dream in my early 20s. And I did IT and focused on that. The bands were fun. The bands were a hobby. The bands were never going to take me anywhere. So the fact that this has happened, and I'm sitting here having this conversation with you, and we're doing 67 or 68 shows this year, it's mind blowing. I keep it in perspective, and I'm humbled by the thought of it. Like I'm actually here doing this for real. So,
Kevin, do you have any more questions for Ryan?
Well, I'm curious how long he takes to get ready to get. I'm not going to zero in on the wig, but the outfit itself. How long you take to get ready, and is there more than one wig? Did he cut his hair short a little bit there for a little bit? But
hey, man, yeah. So I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore. So at first, the wig was one of those things where I was completely against it. Back when I had my old Journey tribute band back in 2005, 2006, I wore a baseball cap, had sunglasses. I did eventually put the tails on, but I never wore the leopard print shirt. I didn't have the wig. I didn't go full Steve Perry.
right.
So a little bit later, after several phone calls with booking agents that would not book us, we didn't look the part. I actually had a guy down in Florida. I'm not going to mention names or companies, but we put a bad taste in each other's mouth because I was so upset he wouldn't book us, and he just wanted me to do it for real. And I finally figured it out several years later, 2007, 2008-ish. I've got my first wig. It was absolutely horrible. I cut it straight across the front. I had bangs that were completely horizontal. It was hideous. Anyway, the wig has become a joke for us because I don't enjoy wearing it. It's not something that I go, hey, I can't wait to put the wig on this weekend.
Right.
But I do understand what it does to the fan. I do understand that watching, a bald Steve Perry is not going to work for most people. And I get that. I understand the concept now. So as a tribute musician, as a tribute professional, I'm going to dress the part. I'm going to act the part. I'm not going to take it too far. We're not going to make it a clown show. We're not going to make it a parody. It's not a comedy sketch. But anyway, that's the wig in a nutshell. But to get ready, the fastest I've ever gotten ready is in 15 minutes.
Wow.
And that's because we were on Royal Caribbean cruise lines and we had some delays, some flight delays, all this stuff. We literally got on the ship. I took my stuff down to the dressing room, put my clothes on and hit the stage. And it was it was absolutely mind blowing. But yeah, normally 30 minutes is a nice, comfortable setup.
Sure.
Yeah, so no makeup. I don't have a makeup artist. I don't have anybody to do the hair, to take care of the wig. So it's pretty much shake it and throw it on and go to town. So there you go.
I mean, but that's why you guys pack the house and you're doing 60 shows a year because you put forth that effort into at least playing the part, sounding the part, and you go out there and you give that energy and that vibe, and that's the people. You know, we want to close our eyes and we're drinking Little Kings at Cedar Creek, listen to Journey back in the day, you know, and that's what you give us.
Well, I appreciate you noticing, man, because you know, it's not just the wardrobe too. It's every musical intricacy. We listen down to those tracks to the infinite degree. And with people like Steve Sharon and Vic White, those guys have incredible ears. They've been playing for decades. Between the two of them, I think they've been playing for 50 years. So they've got so much knowledge. They can break that stuff down to every single layer, and we put that into every single song. So we really want to bring Journey to the fans so that it sounds like the record, or it sounds like that live version off of the Escape album.
Oh, it does.
Direction.
It certainly does.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I know that we're looking forward to you guys being out at Cedar Creek Winery Brewing Company and Distillery in Martinsville, Indiana on May 14th. Tickets are available right now at drinkatthecreek.com. Fancy Sauce will be opening up. They love it. We're keeping the tradition. Last year, you guys were our biggest crowd. We're looking for another great night. Ryan, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and being our guinea pig, or virgin, as you called it, for this first Zoom meeting. Or Zoom interview, I should say. Kevin, thank you for hosting this. I got to work out some kicks here if we do this, because I've frozen up a ton. But Ryan, we're looking forward to whoever the band will be when you get here. I know it will be unbelievable, because Vic and you and Steve, it's just awesome. And I'm just looking forward to seeing you guys again. I know we'll have a packed house. We're really looking forward to it. And we just want to thank you. And we look forward to seeing you guys here. Keep up the great work. Have fun at 3rd and Lindsley. It's a great venue.
Hey, Rob, if he's here for a few days prior to or after, maybe we can sneak him in here and actually have him come in and talk to us.
Yeah, if he's ever coming through, I'd love for him to come to the studio and do it.
You're going to have to talk to my manager about that.
Yeah, she's tough, man. She's tough. She don't give
Hey,
in.
listen, I appreciate you both. Yes, definitely. Kevin, thank you for hosting. And Rob, it's always great to see you. One thing I like to do when I close out interviews is I like to make a call out to the skeptics. I know the fans are going to show up. I know the fans and their friends, their families, they've all been talking about it probably for the last year or so. But there are still people out there that are going to see this interview and they're going to say, it's a tribute band. I'm not really sure. Is it really worth the price of the ticket? Trust me when I tell you, the skeptics are always our biggest fans. If I don't say biggest stalkers. We have Steve Perry fans that are like, I'll never see another Journey anything because Steve Perry's not part of it. And they end up coming to the show and they're fans for life. So we encourage you to come out, have a great time at the Creek, and anywhere else you can see the band. Thank you so much, Rob. Kevin, you guys are great.
Thank you, guys. Hey, we'll see you guys all next week on Music Monday. Thanks to Ryan Christopher from Resurrection. Thanks to his wife, Pam, for booking us on there. Thanks to Kevin and the crew at Porch Time.
See you guys.
See you. Thank you. Are we off?
Live button is stuck.
All right, guys. I'm clicking off here. Ryan, great job if you can hear me.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. We'll see you,
buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah.